Hello and welcome to another interview with one of our artists who is participating in this year's Riverdale Art Walk, which runs from tomorrow until July 2nd online, with a tent tour happening this weekend and the opening happening tonight. So there's lots of cool stuff to watch. So the reason we're doing these videos is really to be able to allow people to kind of understand a little bit about the inspiration and stuff behind the work. Whereas in a normal situation, obviously the artist would be able to be in a tent and they would be able to see you. So we're going to invite on, oh, sorry, darn it, I have to have my glasses on. All right, Nevena Niagolova, and I hope that I have not to sit. And so hopefully we can, she'll join us. And here she is. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm so glad you could join us.
Oh, me too. I like our backgrounds. They're very colorful.
Yeah, this is actually a painting by my camera. It's not my own, but I have everything packed up and ready to go for the tent tour tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
So congratulations on getting into Riverdale, because it's obviously it's pretty tightly juried, and it's been
Yeah.
it's going to be a really great show, I think, with 100 artists online.
No, I'm really happy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so maybe you can, basically the interview is really because we're not going to be in person, so people can't learn about your work. So we'd love to know a bit about your inspiration and your process. And I see there's a beautiful piece behind you.
Yeah, so I do abstract art, and it's very dependent on my mood, on like the things I see around me, like the experience I have. Like, for example, if I learn something new and I'm excited, the colors change, the line work change. So for example, I can show you this one is pretty happy and the colors are very like fresh. And I can show you another one if I switch my camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, this one, I was in a very different mood and it's more dark and full.
But you
So
still have those little colors of optimism. I can see the yellows and some of the light
yeah.
greens. And, yeah.
Yeah, always optimistic.
And so how do you start to kind of create? Like do you start with the vision in terms of what the end goal is, or by the materials, or?
No, but for sure the materials make a difference. So I also do lots of line drawing with a pen, and I just start and see where it goes. And I enjoy not having a plan, because then I have to adapt to every single line that happens. I have to see how it looks and then change something or go somewhere else. And I really enjoy that process. And the same with, for example, acrylic or watercolors. It's all, I just start and I do it.
So do you have like a favorite medium, or is it just kind of whatever the mood takes you, that's what you kind of use, and that's what kind of informs the work?
The last maybe 2-3 years, I've been using lots of watercolor and ink, and I use a calligraphy pen, like with different tips.
Oh, lovely.
So I found a new kind of paper, and that makes me so excited. Like the way you draw on it and the way the watercolor flows, it's just amazing. So that gives me joy, those kinds of things. And recently I've been going for lots of walks and doing smaller work so I can take my art making with me. And I really like that too. Like just sitting in a park somewhere and drawing, and it's great.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of an ongoing theme through a lot of these interviews, really, is the importance of getting outside and connecting with nature, and how connecting your art with that as well. Like it sort of informs and inspires and I think refreshes you. Kind of the whole
Yeah.
concept of green bathing and then bringing it into the work.
Yes, for sure.
So tell me about the one behind you then. What were you feeling, and what was the thought behind that one then?
This one, I think this one's very big. It's 62 by 60.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have a few of
You had a
those.
lot of feeling on that one.
I also listen to music when I do work. It's very like different kind of music. It's not the same. So I think I was probably listening to something happy, and I like to dance around. I put them on the floor and I dance around and paint and just it's like a whole body experience. It's not just my hand moving. It's like my whole body is involved. And yeah, happy.
Hmm.
And I also started using in this one. I have a few fluorescent colors, which you probably can't see in the
It
video,
looks
but
like the pink. I can see the pink. It looks like that's that fluorescent pinky orange.
Yeah, and it makes a difference. It's just, it brings a different feeling to it that it was something new for me. So I enjoyed experiencing that.
And so you work flat then? Do you typically work on the floor or on a table?
Yeah, I usually work on the floor with the big ones, or just when I go in the park, I sit on the grass and I work there. I don't like the table. I feel like constrained. Like if I have a chair, it's like no, you can't move.
Yeah, yeah. No, I paint flat as well, and I have to say though it is kind of hard on the back.
Yeah,
I'm older than you are, so it's like I'm feeling kind of decrepit now.
yeah, but it's exercise, I guess, too, a little bit.
Well, but I think you're right. I think it gives you that whole body freedom. Like I feel like when I'm kind of working as you're leaning over it and you kind of just have that, I don't know, that full
Mhm.
expanse of the canvas without there being a very specific top and bottom, which
Yeah,
I
and
kind of like
also
about.
you can move back and forth and see how it looks at different scales, sort of.
Yeah. Do you have kind of a favorite size that you work on?
I really like the big one. It's just it's hard to store because it's there's so many of them. But I my favorite for sure is the really large ones.
Yeah.
Like with the small ones, it's I really enjoy the like that you can go out, but the full body experience is much better.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. Yeah, 'cause it's kind of hard to do a full body experience on a 12-inch by 12-inch piece of paper
Yeah.
or canvas. Do you work on canvas or paper? You were saying you're excited about paper.
I stretch my paper, so I use stretchers and I stretch watercolor paper. So for the watercolor and ink, I do that. And then for canvas, for acrylic, I do canvas. They're all
Hmm.
stretched. But I also use pads for the small ones that I take outside because I don't want to carry too much uh,
Yeah.
canvases.
Yeah, I know. We're not all like my sister who was like hoofing up some 36 by 36-inch painting up the hill in the forest to do plein air painting. I'm like, that seems like kind of crazy.
Yeah, maybe if you have like a wheel storage, card storage.
Yeah, exactly. And so the pieces that are on the Riverdale Art Walk this year on your store, they're all the same sort of. Do you call it a collection, or is this kind of the way that you always work, or does your work morph and change?
I think it's more of it's been changing, but it's kind of similar. So I have the watercolors up on the art in the show, and those are ink and watercolor. Yeah, and
Hmm.
they're a lot of them also are from the my walks, my recent walks. So it's a new collection, but before they were more just black and white. Well, now they're more colorful. So
Yeah.
that's
Well, I always love the color. Not that it really matters, but I like the one behind you. I just find it's got such a really great and positive energy. Like you could really absolutely see that in well in any home, but specifically some of these modern, newly renovated homes that are kind of looking for that dynamic kind of piece
Mhm.
pop of color.
Oh, I'll be happy if a new home wants them.
Okay. Well, okay, so make sure everybody knows you got to go to riverdaleartwalk.ca and check out Navena's store to make sure you can kind of see them there.
For
So
sure.
what's next for you? What are you kind of working on next? Are you going to continue this collection? I guess once you can actually get outside and do more things, that could kind of change the palette, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'll just see where it goes. I'll still continue with the walks and the painting and see where it happens. Like I like that I like not having a plan. I like just seeing how it's gonna turn out because it's new for me too and it's exciting.
Hmm. Yeah, well, it's kind of nice to do the journey, and I think it's been kind of important during the pandemic, I think, too, to kind of really embrace that journey and not necessarily focus always on the end product, right?
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes it doesn't happen as you thought, and I mean, then it what are
And
you
haven't
gonna
we
do?
learned that big life lesson that life doesn't always happen the way you think it's going to?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, fabulous. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your work?
I can show you some of my materials if you'd like.
Sure, yeah, that'd be great. I'm always nosy, so I love to see what other artists do and what they use.
This
Oh,
is my watercolor brushes. It's pretty big.
yeah.
And more watercolors. This is some of
Oh,
my new work. This,
oh, they're so lovely. They're so delicate.
yeah, that's maybe that's the new thing that's recently. They're more delicate than before. This one is a little older, so you can see the new ones.
Hmm.
And I also have these are my tips that I use, which I really like this one. It's so thick.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, this one makes this kind of strokes. So you can see.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's it.
Yeah, oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I love your seeing all your watercolors. I can see like the bright oranges and the yellows and the pinks and all my favorite colors.
I hope they make you happy like they make me happy.
Color always makes me happy. Yeah, and I think other people see that too. Like I think that through the pandemic, I think people have been looking for joy. They've been looking for joyful things to incorporate into their homes. So, and there's lots of joy to be found at the Riverdale Art Walk.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for the conversation, and I really it's been wonderful to learn a bit more about your work. And so hopefully lots of people will visit your store, and hopefully at some point I can see your work in real life.
Yes,
That would be good. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.